that if I am hearing recurring themes, um, professionally and personally, I know that it's something that needs to be talked about because people are not having that conversation openly. And today, that conversation is about how lonely it is at the top. And the top may not be like, not necessarily talking about like a CEO, maybe, maybe not. Top may be a person who is in a mid-manager role. The top may be a business owner who is managing staff and employees or clients. The top may be someone on a board or running a nonprofit. The top may be someone who is leading the way in doing something that has never been done before, right? And all of those things that I just said can be very, very lonely because the truth is, we are navigating and dealing with a lot. We have a lot on our shoulders. We have a lot on our plates. We're putting out dumpster fires every time they come our way. And we don't have a support system to be able to talk to you about it, right? Like, for example, if you are managing people, you can't go complain to those people about the other people that you're managing. That's not possible. You don't necessarily want to complain to your boss. You may be going to your boss asking for feedback and coaching, but you don't just want that to be a space where you're complaining, right? You may even have a partner at home that you can talk to, and they don't get it. They don't understand. They're not in your role. They're not running your business. They're not managing your team. They're not the ones responsible for making the decisions day in and day out. They don't get it. And it just can feel very isolating and it can feel very lonely. And that's normal. That is common. And it's just not something that we really like to say out loud because it makes us feel vulnerable and exposed. And then also, like, what's the answer, right? Like, okay, so there's no one there. So what do I do? Like, how do I navigate that? Like, so what does that mean? Like, okay, great, thanks. I'm alone in this. I don't have a support system. Appreciate you bringing that to my attention, Amy. Great, thanks. Like, so what do we do, right? What is on the other side of experiencing managing all of these things in a very solo way sometimes, right? And this is not saying that you aren't leading well. This is not saying that you aren't holding the room, that you're not making the decisions. It's that you are doing all of those things and you're carrying it oftentimes just completely by yourself, right? Um, and I lead a group called The Nest, which is an incredible group. The applications are currently open for the next round. So insanely excited about this. It's going to be absolutely an incredible space. And I've been speaking to some of the women that have been in the last cohort of the group. And so many of them have said that the space in this group, they're like, it's where I can't say anything at work and I can't say anything at home, but I can actually say it in this group, right? I can actually say it in this space where we are not judged, we are not overlooked, where we're not talked over, where we're not ignored, and where there's actually a space to be seen and heard. And that's how we deal with that isolation that can happen in leadership roles or in business ownership, right? Um, it's something where women leading at really high levels, when they actually have a space and a place where they can be honest, they can be vulnerable, they can say the ugly thing, they can actually call each other out on their crap as well, right? Like, why aren't you changing this? Why aren't you doing that? And have those discussions because iron sharpens iron. This is where we get into the heat and we refine one another and we pull off those impurities from the top and we make ourselves even better at our craft and at our skill. And it's because we have to be intentionally anchoring into those spaces where we allow those conversations to happen. And I find that they happen best when we're in those groups that are not associated with the work that we do. Right. You don't want to be in that group necessarily with someone who's maybe someone that you need to complain about. You need that space that's outside of those environments so that you can let your hair down, so that you can show up authentically and just be in that space where it's safe. And you can say the things that you've been holding in all day, say the things that are running through your mind at night, right? The Nest group that I have is a space like that, specifically curated for leaders and business owners. And there are other groups out there in the world that exist like this. We have to find the right one for us. We have to plug ourselves into them. And then we have to invest in making that happen. We have to say, I'm going to show up. I'm going to commit. I'm going to say the hard thing. I'm going to be vulnerable, right? Now, trust is not built overnight in groups. We do have to have a little bit of like lead up time in creating that, but we can reduce our feelings of isolation. We can build trust. We can build a safety net so that we can be ourselves, so that we don't have to wear masks, so that we don't have to fake it till we make it. I hate the phrase fake it till we make it. If I could ban that from our vocabulary, I would absolutely do it. No one should be out here faking it. We have short lives. None of us need to spend a single moment wearing a mask and faking it. We don't need to do that unless it's maybe like, Santa Claus with our kids. Okay, you can fake that. Outside of that, let's just not create spaces where we need to do that, right? Underneath you running on fumes and underneath the version of you that is exhausted and feels like she has no one to go talk to is someone who is relentlessly showing up, someone who is resilient, someone who is making things happen. And it's important to have that space where you can be yourself. Leaders at your level are not supposed to say these things. So you don't. You perform, you're showing up, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, you're sending the encouraging messages on Slack, you're holding space for your team. You go home, you carry it all there too, you make happen. I don't think I can cuss on a Facebook Live. You make things happen and you're carrying that mental load, you're carrying the decisions, you're carrying guilt around potentially not being the person that carries it all. So you just keep carrying it all. And I just hate to break it to you, man or woman, leader or business owner, you are going to crash and burn. It will happen. It might be now, it might be later, it might be big, it might be small, but you are going to crash and burn because it's not sustainable. And as humans, we can't do that. We just can't. So we need that space where we get to put it down and we get to be ourselves, right? The cost of leading where you don't have that in place is profound. It's going to show up in your decisions. You're going to be slower. You're going to be more reactive. You're going to be less creative. It's going to show up in your patience with your team, at home, with yourself. You're going to be less forgiving of yourself. You're going to beat yourself up for making mistakes more, right? And it shows up in your ability to be resilient, to be able to adapt and sustain to the kind of leadership that you want to be leading with, the one that moves things forward and makes a change and has an impact. If you are not curating that space or investing in someone else who has already curated that space and showing up for it, you can white knuckle yourself through as a leader, but you cannot sustain high performance in silence indefinitely. You just can't because you're a human. No one can, right? The leaders that I work with hit walls because of this. It's not because, or at least it's rarely because they've lacked a skill, right? We can teach skills all day long, but if we're not teaching the skill of investing in ourselves and creating a safe space to be able to let it all out, it doesn't matter what kind of strategies you implement, you're still going to crash and burn. I've seen it happen. It's a guarantee. I would bet my left foot. Like, go ahead. I would love for someone to challenge me on that. I love a bet. And I love a good debate, right? Um, you need other hands. Many hands make light work. And when you can have that space to be able to put that out there, you're lightening the workload that you have and you show up better because of it. You become more resilient and the productivity increases and your output quality also improves. It's the best ever. Okay. So, round two of the nest. Applications are open right now. I am taking a limited number of women. Two of those spots have already been claimed. It is specifically for leaders, women in leadership, and for business owners who are obviously leaders, but I'm going to say it just in case because a couple of people asked me about that for clarity. It is a 6 month group, small community with Zoom calls, right? We're not going to add to our plate. We're actually going to expand the plate and create capacity for ourselves in the work that we do here. So please reach out to me if you're interested. The website is amycapello.com/nest. Super easy. You can read more about it. You can apply there. I would love to talk to you. If this is something you're interested in, whether now is the time for you or not, we can still chat about it. And I may have some ideas on what can support you best in this season, whether it's the nest or something else. So please reach out to me, send me a private message, email me at info@amycapello.com. Let's have that conversation. Let's talk about what that space looks like for you, whether it's the nest or something else. What does it look like for you to invest in a space where you are expanding your capacity and you're allowing yourself to have the support systems that you need through all of it? Okay. I would love for you to ask yourself today, like, complete this sentence. The thing I'm carrying right now that I haven't said out loud to anyone is blank. What is that thing? If you're willing to share it with me, I would love to hear it. All right. I will check in with you guys tomorrow. I have space for you in my world. If you're interested, I would love to invite you to join it. I'm going to check in with you guys again tomorrow. Please chat with me. I cannot wait to hear from you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.